Good morning everyone, this is John with Gun.Deals. Today we're going to be taking a look at the well-regarded Primary Arms PLXc 1-8 with the Griffin mill reticle. While you're here, go ahead and do the things the algorithm likes so that YouTube overlords don't put us back in the box. It's very dark in there. Full disclosure on the PLXc is that I paid my own money for this optic. I have done a lot of videos on Primary Arms products in the past that they have sent me for free, so keep in mind that there is a relationship there, but I did spend my own money on this optic. Now getting into the basics about the PLXc, this is the premier LPVO from Primary Arms. The P refers to their platinum line and the C refers to the compact nature of the optic. Size and weight, as you would expect, are very good. Length is a little over 9 inches and weight is just under 17 ounces, making it one of the smallest and lightest 1-8x optics on the market currently. In terms of controls, we have capped windage and elevation with very low profile turrets. The turrets themselves are in 0.1 MOA increments with very stiff tactile clicks. The audibility isn't great, but the tactility is very nice, if that makes sense. And again, these are more set and forget since we're going to be using the reticle for just about everything. On the left side of the body, we have our illumination dial that has 11 settings and an off in between each ones. In terms of the brightness itself, on max, it is daylight visible and good enough, but it's not fiber optic or red dot bright. The battery life out of the 2032 is only about 30 hours at max brightness. After that, it will trail off considerably until it eventually dies and needs to be replaced. Moving back, we have our nicely knurled magnification ring. The throw from 1 to 8x is 180 degrees and a very smooth, light throw, making a quick switch from low to high very easy to do on the fly. The included throw lever is removable and they have other options available so you can set it up to your own heart's content. At the back, we have a diopter for adjusting the reticle to your eyes. Now, field of view on the PLXc 1-8 is rated at 1x at 100 yards at a whopping 121 feet. That is pretty fantastic. That is in the top tier of LPVOs. There are a few with better field of views, but 120 feet plus, that's fantastic. Moving on to usability, the eye relief is about 4 inches on the low end with a good amount of forgiveness in terms of forward and back play. And the eye box, which is of course your left, down, up, and right, is pretty good at the optimal position. Now moving up to 8x is where things get very, very tight. You still have a good eye relief at about 3.5 to 4 inches behind the optic, but the eye box is extremely tight. Almost any movement up, down, left, and right, and you will have a very noticeable scope shadow. So for the higher magnification shots, if you're doing it from a weird position or bracing behind cover, if you're not in a stable position, it can be difficult to get the perfect sight picture through it. That is the main downside of most LPVOs with only a 30mm main tube. I do hope at some point they make a 34mm version of this optic with a similar form factor. Even if the weight is up a couple of ounces, I think the bonuses of a little bit extra light transmission, or light collection I should say, and some of the additional usability on the high end would be a great package if they can maintain the rest of the excellent characteristics of the PLXc. Now let's go ahead and talk about that 1x performance and the image quality. It's pretty great, all of it. The 1x is flat and the glass quality is great. Combine that with the almost edgeless look to the glass and it's one of the more natural images you will find on an LPVO. The glass quality itself, also excellent. Light transmission is high, edge to edge looks very crisp, colors are bright, and the clarity even at 8x is still really good. I have been very fortunate of late to have some other expensive glass on hand from Maven, Trijicon ACOGs, the Elcans, and the PLXc. Looks, if not better, at least as good as those other options. So yeah, it's the smallest, lightest LPVO with some of the best glass, and it really only suffers in usability at the higher magnifications. Moving on to the reticle, this version has the Griffin M8 mill grid. They also offer it in a BDC version and now a Nova fiber wire reticle option as well. The M8 reticle is based off of their center chevron and outer horseshoe setup, very similar to most other optics that they offer, and below that we have a 1x1 mill grid, and that is going to be what you're going to use for all of your distance work. Now personally, I love mill grids because they work for every caliber and barrel length combo out there, and it gives the user plenty of wind holds for us that are out here in windy South Dakota. for instance, I can take this on a 20-inch SPR or some oddball 14.5/6.5 Creedmoor build, and I can still true out those mills versus a BDC that's just not gonna line up with certain calibers. Now, of course, it is an ACSS reticle, so you also have auto ranging features up the center stadia line and to each side of the center reticle. At 8x, it can be a little busy for some, and I tend to agree with that, but because this is a first focal plane reticle, and at 1x you need a prominent enough design to pick up quickly, and at the 8x, the downside is that of course it takes up a lot of the image. Overall, I think that the compromise is fair, because again, at the end of the day, it's hard to beat the glass, the size and weight, and even the cost. Now, $1,500 is no small sum, but when you compare it to other top-end LPVOs, I think it stacks up really well in terms of value and just raw performance as well. The one question mark that I have with this LPVO is going to be long-term durability. Do they sacrifice some of that to get this very small compact form factor? Now, I personally haven't had it long enough to know that one for sure, so I will definitely need to continue my testing. Fortunately for me, I really enjoy using LPVOs, and the PLXc is one of the best on the market, probably the best one I've ever used. But with all of that out of the way, guys, let me know what you think of the PLXc. Let me know if there is another option that I should compare it against or something that you think is better. But once again, with all of that out of the way, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.